All right, we are live, and welcome to another episode of the A3K podcast. If you're joining us again, you're awesome. You're awesome. But if
I
you're not
love you.
joining us and you don't know what I'm saying, then I don't know why I'm saying this. Going down the list, I'm Sean Russell, by the way, founder of Anime 3000, and joining us we have Colton, who is from the Manga Corner, as well as a litany of other podcasts that he will be more than happy to let us know about in the takeaway segment of this podcast. Thank you so much, Colton, for joining us. We have David Majors.
I know that guy. Hello.
He's an asshole.
he's new to the A3K family, but he is more than making up for it with all the stuff he's doing behind the scenes. And you can check his handy dandy work immediately. Hopefully, I'm not putting you on the spot. At least in the past weeks, he's been manning the Toonami feed for us. So he's like, well, but this week I'm not. So screw you, Sean. No, but anyways. You know, he's definitely good people, and he also does a whole bunch of other cool stuff on the interwebs that he'll be sharing with us in our takeaway segment. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Thank you so much, David, for joining us.
Hello, Sean. Hello, everybody out there on the interwebs. David Majors here, but please call me DJM.
Whoop, whoop. And we have Jack Dalton Alistair. So Jack is also a new face to the A3K podcast, but not to the crew. Jack has produced several reviews through the bonus round that you can check out on anime3000.com. So, as always, welcome back, Jack.
Watch you when you sleep.
Hi.
I let that
knock on the window. I'll let you in. It's cold.
And then we have Cody Byer, who is on the other side, as well as he was previously
He's a nice guy, not an asshole at all.
And he has other projects that I'm sure he's going to mention during the takeaway segment as well. So welcome, Cody.
Cody Byer.
All right, so on this first segment, we like to let you guys know what we've been doing, whether it's an anime, whether it's outside the realms of anime. If we've been doing it, you guys get to learn about it. So
get it right, Sean. It's dotting. It's what we've been dotting.
What we've been dotting. And Jack, since you interrupted me, you go first.
Oh, damn. Well, haven't had too much to do with a lot of anime or anything this week because I am finishing up my semester for illustration class. Shit like this. Yeah.
That's pretty
other
neat.
than that, oh, thank you so much. I hate it. Other than that, trying not to get trampled over at the warehouse and other places which I am working during the Christmas season because corporate loves money. Did you know that? Because I didn't know that. But
Nah, me neither.
I know it's a really shocking revelation. Other than that, I recently got a bunch of rejected library manga, like 30-something titles in a huge paper bag, really obscure stuff. Ooh. And other than that, rewatching Cuticle Detective and Nava because, fuck it, I love surreal shit. And I don't care what any of you say about what you thought that it looked like. You can't judge things by appearances unless it's something like this. Because I think this is pretty self-explanatory.
You can if it's a girl smiling at you in zero gravity without a nose.
That is true. That is pretty true, because that's very obviously a mech anime.
Oh, totally.
How dare you?
All right, and keeping this train moving, we have DJM.
Oh, I have been dotting a sentence that I didn't know how to finish.
All right.
But also, I just got finished literally right before we did the A3K podcast. I was watching the live stream of Chikara, their season finale of their returning season 14. The show was entitled Tomorrow Never Dies, culminating with a steel cage match and a Torneo Cibernetico. It was awesome. Chikara is back. Chikara is the wrestling promotion you've probably watched on YouTube, but you didn't even realize it. It's
I know it.
amazing. We'll probably talk about it on the Fanny Pack Wrestling podcast in the not-too-distant future.
Nice.
I was looking at your hashtags. I was actually stalking you on Twitter, and I'm like, what is Chikara? I have no idea. I could have probably done a Google search, but
Chikara is the
didn't want
fun-filled lucha super party that you already know about because you've probably watched their stuff on YouTube.
It's basically if you took WWE, mixed it with lucha stuff, and then made it like silly and cartoony.
So basically, that one scene from the first Spider-Man movie when he first got his whole doofy costume.
With Macho Man.
Saw's
Fuck
red.
yeah. You're going nowhere.
It's a little less WWE Attitude Era and more Ultimate Muscle in real life.
So it's WWE
Yes.
Doink the Clown era.
It's mid-90s World Wrestling Federation, except great.
It's
When-
rodeo wrestling.
When Bret Hart was carrying the company.
Yes.
All right, too much wrestling talk.
FannyPackWrestling.com.
Not
Also, I am still watching G-Reco, Gundam Reconquista in G, and Faith in Gundam Restored. Faith in Gundam Restored.
All right, so if you're looking to check out Gundam, which you probably weren't, there you go. It's a recommendation.
Which
I'm
you
joking.
should be.
I'm joking. Gundam Aces. Gundam Ace. That sounds like something. Cody.
Me. Well, I haven't been able to really watch anything because I've been super, super busy trying to get that Cloud Scratcher book ready. But I do have one Cloud Scratcher related thing that was part of what's been keeping me busy that I can announce here. Cloud Scratcher is now on Facebook. The comic finally has a Facebook page, so I fully expect everybody to like and follow the Cloud Scratcher Facebook page, and from
Facebook.
possibly cross promotion on the A3K Facebook, perhaps, maybe. I don't know. Look, I'm a
Got
whore.
it, dude.
I'm a whore. We've established this. See, I've put this off for a long time, and now that I'm on the hiatus, like for new pages, I can finally get some of the stuff done. And if you actually go on the Facebook, you can see some of the remastering process because there have been some panels that I can't look back at because they're so bad. So some of them I'm actually redrawing. Like there's just something like a face here or a hand there. Some stuff for some panels I just have to flat out erase completely and redraw. When you take a look at this, you'll see.
Remastered Cloud Scratcher.
Yes, it's real remastering, not George Lucas remastering.
It's funny because it's sad.
That's so funny. I was just watching episode 4 of Star Wars today with a friend.
I'm gonna cry.
So I think, trust me, when this is done, y'all are gonna love it. You're gonna see this book and be like, Cody, this is why you keep working so much. This is very good. You put your money where your mouth is, and then you're gonna buy my book.
Cody, I can tell you.
Exactly
I
with that
assure
voice.
you.
I will do it with
I
that
will.
voice.
I will tell the person at the Barnes & Noble, man, I'm going to buy this book right here. I'm going to use exact change.
Look for you can look for it when the book is ready and out and buyable. Look forward to me plugging it every single fucking A3K podcast.
I'm tired of it already.
I never shut up.
So Cody, is it just a collection of just your first couple of comics, or?
It's the first 4 chapters, which make up episode 1.
Okay.
Nice.
And all of the artwork, like I said, I'm touching up everything. If you ever notice the current pages, everybody has like a black thick outline around them that's not there in the earlier pages. I'm putting that on all the earlier pages.
Nice.
Going all the coloring and adding new layers of shading and lighting and making everything look more, good, and going over all the shadows of the characters and making them all a little more contoured, and just every page I'm going through with a fine-tooth comb because I actually give a damn about my webcomic.
All right, that sounds cool. I'm happy for you. I haven't gotten the chance to read Cloud Scratcher yet. I've been meaning to, so this will be a nice way to get right into it.
I'm sure the reason you haven't been is because you're going to tell us all about the fun anime and maybe non-anime related stuff you've been doing in your ... Colton.
I'm really glad you had a segue, Sean, because I had nothing. But
He's always got the segues, man. He's
That's-
always got them.
Hashtag the Sean Russell.
hashtag the Sean Russell. Well, I haven't really gotten the chance to indulge in much in the ways of anime or manga either, except
Man, it's very weak.
I've been busy with a lot of my own podcasting things, trying to edit the newest episode of Life Lessons to come out next week. Also helping a friend edit the Heavenly Kings podcast, which is a Toriko podcast I do on the side. I'll talk about all that stuff in the takeaway. But whenever I want to take a break from editing, I've been, because I'm a subscriber of the English Weekly Shonen Jump, I try to sit down and read bits and pieces of the newest issue whenever I get the chance. And I feel like since I'm on the manga corner, I feel like I should talk a little bit about because if you haven't been following, or if you're not a subscriber to Viz's Digital Weekly Shonen Jump, they do this cool little thing where, because usually I don't know what their schedule is on this kind of stuff, but every once in a while, Jump will approve of new serials, new series to start being published in the magazine, and this time around they just happened to start up 3 new series. And what Viz does with those is that they have something called the Jumpstart campaign or whatever, where they basically take the first 3 chapters of each of those series and they translate the first 3 chapters of those and put them in their weekly Jump as they come out, and basically have people who subscribe to English Jump to vote on which series they want to keep in the magazine, which I think is pretty cool. It's a good way to sample what's out there in Japan and what the new series are. And I wanted to just give my thoughts on those real quick, because I did get a chance to read the first 3 chapters of each series. The first one I think they did was, I don't remember the Japanese title, but it was something like The Table Tennis of Ageha, which I thought, reading the first 3 chapters, I thought was okay. The main character is very passionate about what he wants to do, as in most sports titles, I guess. The comedy's very mostly miss. It's, I don't know, like I've been kind of burnt on sports manga ever since I finished Ice Shield 21. I haven't really been able to find another sports title that I like as much, I guess, other than Slam Dunk. Yeah, I guess it's okay. And then you have the typical new ecchi series, E-Robot, which is
Ecchi froze Colton.
world he decides to build a robot.
What's the name of the show? You froze a little bit, Colton.
It's E-Robot, which I think it's supposed to be some kind of weird pun or something, erotic. Get it? It's a pun, but yeah.
Oh.
How dare you?
No, fuck. No, we're not talking about this. Stop, please.
Oh, okay, fine. It's stupid. It's stupid. I'll just say that. Like, I actually want to like it because there are some funny gags, because it's mostly a gag series, but I can't really bring myself to like it no matter how much I want to, because it's typical fan servicey stuff without being too, I guess, risque, because it's Jump. It's aimed at normally a younger audience. And then the last series they decided to pick up as a part of this new batch was actually a series. I think it's written by a new author, but the art is drawn by Obata, who has drawn things such as Death Note and.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, I'm sure you're not. I hear it's a very underground title, but
What is it called?
It's I forget the English name for it, but it's called Gakyu Hote.
Fuck,
and
wrong one.
It's basically about this elementary schooler who thinks he's a badass lawyer, but he's really just annoying.
So it's Phoenix Wright before Phoenix Wright was Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, actually.
I love it.
I mean, like I've only read the first chapter of it. I don't think the second chapter comes out until next week. But I mean, I want to like it because I really like a lot of Obata's stuff. I really like his art style. He's probably one of my favorite artists, actually. But I mean,
Colton, I'm starting to notice a pattern. I'm starting to notice a pattern with a lot of anime that you're watching, in that a lot of it is stuff that you want to like,
yes,
as opposed
And you
to
don't.
things that you actually do like.
Welcome to modern anime.
yeah, no kidding. I'm used to being burned by this kind of stuff. But and long story short, I thought the first chapter was okay. I got kind of mad near the end because this particular series thinks it's cool enough to leave you on a cliffhanger ending where the main character tries to hype you up for next week's chapter, and I'm like, you don't deserve you don't deserve that. You've run for literally one chapter. You don't get to be that cool yet. You haven't proven
It's trying so hard like Kill la Kill did. Oh no.
Oh my
No, I'm not
Well,
okay with
When
this.
something like that tries hard, in the end, it doesn't even matter.
I want that to be okay because I love anime lawyers. This is not okay.
no, but
Look, all I know is that doesn't sound like it has anything to do with getting hoes.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and that's what's important in life and anime. That's clearly what they do all the time.
It's a joke on the title.
I like it.
Long story short, this batch isn't very good, but I really like what Viz has to offer with this Jumpstart program. I hope they keep it up. It's great to at least get a taste of what's coming out in Jump in Japan.
I hope
feels
they
nice
translate things properly.
From what I've seen, I haven't noticed anything too.
I'm
glaring.
still mad about Roanoa Zolo. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, we'll save that debate for another time.
His name's Zolo, just like a samurai.
Don't give it up, Zolo. Whoever the fuck you are.
I can get on it.
All right. You have more?
Well, I was just gonna say, other than that, I finally watched the first episode of The Flash, and I really like it, and I want to keep watching it.
I liked it so much when I saw it, I said, Flash!
Beautiful.
Nice. And I guess that brings it to me. And
What have you
Sean Russell
been
of the A3K
dotting?
Network.
Sean
What have
Russell.
you been dotting?
what have I been dotting? I have been. Well, I lied because we have one more person. We have AW Brawler joining us, making his grand entrance.
Maxwell.
So Max,
Maxwell Frank.
Oh my god!
we are talking about what we've been dotting, and you are not a stranger to this segment. So, putting you on the spot, what have you been dotting?
Glad you asked, because I found what I think might end up being my favorite anime, and Cody will hate it. It's called
Ding ding! Round one.
it's High School Say Hi Girls, and it's like taking all the Sega consoles and turning them into girls. The Dreamcast is a girl, the Master System is a girl, and the Saturn is a girl. And I love that
give
show.
up. I give up. I give up. I give up. I left. This is me leaving. Nope. 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 Nope.
And that is the most interesting thing I've seen all week. I'm like, I love this.
Well,
Sega!
yeah. So what was that show again, Frank?
What was that show again? Fuck off?
It's High School. Let me look at them. I got it up here. It's High School something. Say Hi Girls, because it's not Sega. They have Say Hi. SEHA.
Okay.
I know all about this show, which is part of why I reacted the way I did.
I don't want to know about this show. I'm so sorry for you, Cody. I am so sorry for your terror and awful that you triggered him. Why didn't you give a trigger warning? God damn it!
I always trigger Cody. We're like all in water.
I have lost the ability to even. I am no
Oops.
longer able to even.
You're kind of
last
quiet there,
shot.
Colton. Are you?
Cole's just kind of silent right now.
I'm not a Sega kid whatsoever, so I have no reaction to this. I might actually watch
I
this.
am a Sega kid.
So you're not alone. You're not alone, Frank. You're not alone.
I
Sega!
grew up on Sonic the Hedgehog, raviolis, and the cartoons and all of that. I still have a Sonic hat that I used to wear all the time. You see, I don't have it now. The Pokemon hat day.
All right. And I guess going back to me,
Sean Russell of the A3K Network at anime3000.com.
I
What have
have-
you been dot dot
you've
dot?
been
I've actually been watching some anime and reading some manga.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm watching Parasite as always. It just gets better and better. If you're not watching, Parasite is my Hunter x Hunter for this season of the A3K podcast. I will be talking about it every single episode because it deserves to be talked about every single episode. Have any of you last week that said, "Oh, I better watch this show"? Have you watched it yet?
Well, I've been watching it. There was a moment in last week's episode where I was kind of like, getting a little close to jumping the shark, but it came back.
All right, cool.
So I wasn't mad.
I was kind
well,
of busy with One Piece. I forgot I was watching One Piece again. I got back to the Usopp arc because there are two things I love about that arc, and it's Captain Usopp and then Captain Kuro. I love them. I love both of them a lot.
I love that arc.
And
it makes me cry every time.
All I've watched is new Korra when that comes out. That's all I have time for.
Yeah,
all right, no worries. As long as you guys get to it eventually, that's fine.
And overworked with Parasite is on my
Thank
list.
you for reminding me, Cody.
It took almost a year, but I mean Colton got around to Hunter x Hunter, so I'm sure you guys will get around to Parasite in about 2 years.
Watch. It'll take me probably another year to get to Parasite, but I mean
Right after I get to Attack on Titan in a millennium.
But I mean, my friends started apparently watching it, and they were talking about it today when I was watching Star Wars with them and doing whatever. So I might eventually start on that. Actually,
It's episode 10, and the show doesn't feel like it's losing any steam. It's still fresh, and they're doing new things.
Surprisingly,
And
it's very good.
yeah, it is really good. So keep checking that out. My favorite manga right now released some new chapters, and supposedly the new chapters are some even newer chapters are supposed to be coming out this week. From, of course, if you watch the A3K podcast, you already know what I'm gonna say. Nobody. One Punch Man. Some new chapters came out for that. They're not really getting into the new story. I think the one that's coming out pretty soon is going to be jumping into the new arc, but it was like a half of a chapter where they kind of went into like a little backstory, which is pretty cool. I believe like it was more of like nothing that was part of the story, but it was still interesting. You learn a little bit about the character, so I thought that was pretty cool. I know actually it did go into the story when a new character that's presenting like a new type of villain. So we're just waiting to see him get his ass beat, pretty much. That's pretty much how the manga goes. And then I'm marathoning a show. I love Netflix because there's a lot of times while I'm watching Netflix and I can't find anything to watch, but then I'll come across this random sci-fi type show and I'll marathon it for the whole weekend. And I've done that this week with Being Human. Have any of you ever seen that show?
I was hoping you were going to say that. Love that show.
That is a good show. Good pick.
I watched 10 episodes in a row today. That show is. I did that. I was watching it while I was doing some web work. So Being Human, if you haven't watched it, it is getting better and better and better. It's about a werewolf, a ghost, and a vampire.
And they all walk
original series.
No, they walk into a house and they live in there. And a lot of interesting things happen, between the relationships. I think that the way it doesn't feel like it could be. You could almost say it has the feel of like a CW show, but it's a little bit darker. And
it actually aired on the Sci-Fi Network, or Sci-Fi, if you want to be cute.
Sci-Fi.
It's one of those rare examples of a show on that network that wasn't garbage.
Sci-Fi. Imagine greater spell worse.
Don't speak ill of Sci-Fi. They play asylum movies, and they are my best friend for that.
They're still pretty fucking good.
Is that series over? What's the deal with that? Because I
think it had 4 seasons. I think it's over.
Well, they have 30 episodes. I'm only on 12, so at least I have a few more weeks to enjoy it. And that's.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sean. What was the name of that show again? I don't think I've seen anything. Okay, this is my first time hearing about the show.
I just want to point out really quickly that if they did in fact walk into a bar, it'd probably be closer to something I would watch because then it would resemble The Wolf Among Us, which I have also been playing and in addition to Persona Q.
I mean, they hang out in bars. I don't know if that helps, but. Uh,
But it's not Big B Wolf, the motherfucker of all motherfuckers.
Well, that's pretty much what I've been dotting. So what we're going to go into now is we're going to be talking about.
Before we start, let me just say, people, it's going on 11:30. I know you're going to be tempted to watch Toonami tonight. You're anime fans. Why wouldn't you? But I'd also like to remind you that tonight Toonami is not going to be playing their normal programming. Instead, it's playing Summer Wars.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Stick around with
fuck.
us. You'd be better.
Summer Wars.
God
That's
damn
the
it.
greatest movie to come out in 2012.
Fucking damn it. I recently watched that. I hate it. I hate it. It's ugly. It's
Now you see
ugly.
what I was fucking talking about all those years ago.
Frank,
Minus on the
what do
map.
you think about Summer Wars?
Round 2, fight!
You know,
Fuck.
this might surprise y'all. My thoughts on Summer Wars. I think it's played out and they're playing it too much, and I didn't even really like it when it first came out. I was neutral on it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. And now they're playing it too much. I'm sick of it.
You know,
It's ugly.
I've had I wouldn't say a disagreement, but sort of a thing with my other side co-host Max Vader over Psycho Pass. I haven't seen it, but I'm not willing to write it off over its premise. He is. He can't get over its premise. But I can say, okay, well, this is a dystopian future, so when you have dystopian future, you have bad
David?
or
David?
establishment or
Oh
whatever.
my god, David! David, speak to me! David! David! David!
Now, was that
Psychopath.
Like with Summer Wars, I'll keep watching it though.
But anyway, I'm gonna keep going.
It's
I'm gonna keep
so
going.
All right,
ugly.
Cody.
But with Summer Wars, you like the minute you put a moment of thought into the premise, it not only falls apart, but then you just can't get over it. Like, why is everything connected to Facebook? Why is the traffic lights and the medical supplies and the launch?
Why is everybody so fucking stupid?
And what was this? What is up with the scene where they're like in front of the computer and they're like, it's sweating. Like who? Like I
Clearly
just,
not Cody. You would know
Well, there's certain
David,
content on there's certain content on the internet that people tend to watch that might do certain things to them.
But not that reaction they gave in that fucking movie. That was just that movie's so
I
fucking.
mean, the premise is
That was almost like
as
what happened in the beginning of End of Evangelion when he was like, unconscious lady! Oh my god!
I can see her boobage.
She's unconscious and she has no idea or any sentience of what's going on right now.
No, he was cracking because he saw boob.
Man, every time I talk to you guys, I start to feel a little distant because this is another thing that really splits us apart on the A3K podcast, or at least I love Summer Wars. Summer Wars is actually one of my favorite
Tried
movies.
to drown a computer program.
Wait, hold on a second. You don't like the artwork of Eiichiro Oda, you motherfucker.
I'm neutral on the whole thing. So I can understand.
Hey Colton. I didn't think Summer Wars was that bad either.
Yeah, like
Somebody doesn't like psychopaths.
this is so Summer Wars isn't a thing where I'm like, okay, it's not that great, but I'm gonna give it a pass because it does stuff I like. Like I legitimately really like the movie.
They try to drown a computer program.
It's so
All right, so
ugly.
I understand though, because again, I'm neutral
I
on the whole
can't.
thing, and I'm the person I will keep watching it when they play it, but for all the wrong reasons. I'm a fan of the dubbed cast, and I like that they have the voice of Makoto
Oh, me too.
from School Rumble in there. So I'll keep watching it because I like the cast, even though I'm neutral.
you
on
can't
it.
say that A through K doesn't have a little bit of balance because I think this panel here represents that balance A through K represents. Where I personally didn't hate Summer Wars. After I guess listened to your review of Summer Wars, maybe I felt a little way about it. But when I watched it, I was kind of like, it's a little overhyped, but it was a little popcorn movie, whatever. Colton likes it.
At least, though,
Max,
not quite as stupid as the girl who leapt through time. So I will give it
No.
at least that much.
Okay, now we gonna fight because I like that movie.
The girl who leapt through time.
Oh my god.
The girl who leapt through time is just every anime filler ever made,
No, it's
only
worse.
sucking
I
out
will tell
all
you-
the uninteresting shit.
No, let me just.
I understand it's weird because I'm the
No, I need to do this. I need to do this.
I'm limiting you to 30
Do
seconds.
it, Cody.
30
Kick
seconds.
his ass!
There's
ass!
like an hour's worth of crappy things in that movie. I could go into the fact that the time machine the time machine. There's two things I'm just going to talk. A million things I could talk. There's the two. First of all, okay, this is a time machine, but the time machine is a walnut that she breaks and it imprints a tattoo of how many times she can jump through time. Who makes that? Like, I have invented this machine that shall travel through the depths of time. Well, how does it work?
Clearly.
Is it like some kind of
It
food?
makes
Like
the absolute
Clearly,
no,
Cody.
it is a
You know?
walnut. And when
Cody,
you break
clearly.
this walnut, it tattoos on you an amount of time travels you can make. How do they not
Cody.
go, Phil, you're fucking nuts.
Clearly, Cody, they looked at in time.
That isn't balls out retarded. Please, just go remake that time machine in a way that doesn't want us to have you committed. That's number
Cody,
one. Number two.
What were you
They
saying, Jack?
just.
Hold on. What were you saying, Jack?
I was just gonna say, clearly, Cody. They looked at the Cillian Murphy movie.
The internet is not liking you, Jack.
Jack wanted to.
Like,
Jack wanted to.
number
Jack
20.
wanted to impress us all with her impression of T-Pain.
Touche.
Point number two. Okay, I'm just gonna spoil the fucking end. I don't even give a shit. That other guy turns out to be a time traveler, right?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, the other guy turns out to be a time traveler. First of all of a sudden he can do Zowarudo. There's no point that it's established the time machine can do that. All of a sudden, and it's a blatant ripoff. It even does the whole everything that was monochrome Zowarudo. And so
Was
all
he
of a sudden
physician
stand
wearing a
out of
terrible
nowhere.
suit?
And then he showed, and then why did he? Okay, he says he's from the future, and the future's all awful. It's like their fucking Chrono Trigger post-Lavos future, where everyone's living in domes and there's no running water or whatever.
I am you from the future. There's
So
no
he-
time to explain.
No, here, but this is what he does. So
If you
he
want to
I
live.
would say it seemed kind of more like Tango than Chrono Trigger, but I guess.
he comes back to the past. Jack, shut up. He comes back to the past, and what did he use his time to now? He comes from a bleak future, a bleak, terrible future. So you're thinking, he's got the power of time travel. Maybe he could fix these problems. No, he wanted to see a painting in person. What? You have the power to travel through time, and you use it because you want to see a picture. You can see a fucking picture of
Wait, hold on,
a
what,
computer,
Frank,
but you want to see a
Frank, go.
painting in person. So
Frank,
that's
go.
what you use your Zawarudo time travel for. Not
Zawaldo.
not
Frank,
fix the
go.
future, not stop there from not being water anymore in the future. No, you.
Frank, go.
If I could time travel, I would probably do something silly like go and change one thing. So I'd be scared I'm going to erase myself out of existing. So if I time travel, what I'd really do is I would go and I would make it where the Sony Walkman never existed and everybody go straight to MP3 players just to see what would happen.
That ain't gonna happen. You have to make.
I would do some silly stuff.
That's not gonna make the. That's not gonna make the Walkman. Just because you make the Walkman disappear doesn't mean you're gonna make the iPod appear any faster. That just means that you're gonna have to come up with a way around it.
The future and do that. What I'm saying. So like, here's the technology. Mimic this crap.
But all he did was go back.
That's gonna work. I think Maxwell just described an episode of Gravity Falls, and it made less sense.
I just have one question about all of this. Were they
What is that?
British and wearing terrible suits?
Why were people wearing the crazy suits on Tron? We don't know, but we love it. Some of y'all like Tron.
All right, I'm gonna time jump into the future and go to our first topic, and that's
Oh my God, we spent all that time.
hey, we're talking about anime, and isn't that what this show's about? Our first topic is about a part of the anime culture, and that is cosplaying. And the article recently came out from the Nerdist, and you guys might have seen this popping up around the world about about comic book artist says cosplayers bring nothing of value to conventions. Now, are any of you familiar
Oh,
with
she
this?
gonna die. Or he. I don't know who wrote this, but they gonna die. You gonna die. You gonna die. She gonna die.
I actually have something interesting to say about this, but I'll let you fill the folks in first.
All right. No, go ahead and say what you have to say first.
I have
Alright,
thoughts
well,
on this
I guess
too.
I'll
I have
sum it up
thoughts.
then since I'm talking before you. It's basically a comic book artist dude. He's an old curmudgeon. He said he don't like cosplayers because they're supposedly hurting the market. And I actually do get what he's saying. He has a kind of a point here. He's just taking it too far. There's this whole cosplay culture that's built up here. People are kind of going too far with it, and this is the part I think he's right, because you have these people that like are starting to almost build conventions around cosplay, or they're holding these huge cosplay things, but this does nothing for the industry. While it does something for the whole cosplay setting, you can say, well, it encourages fans or whatever. It doesn't help with actual numbers and sales. And in that respect, he's right. Where he falls apart is where he starts condemning cosplay itself. Like cosplay and the rise of it, yes, it's given rise to this obnoxious cosplay culture, which I fucking hate. Where like they give an example here. I'm gonna read it for you because you know I can read fast as shit. I had a cosplayer pass by my booth all excited about the upcoming Doctor Strange movie. This is a different guy than the first guy. These are multiple people. This guy named Raymond Louis. My booth all excited about the upcoming Doctor Strange movie and wanted to dress like him, but the cosplayer had no idea what Strange does, if he's a real doctor, and when I remarked that he was created by Steve Ditko, the man who made Spider-Man, the cosplayer asked me if Strange was related to Spider-Man. I had to boot him out of my booth. The part where that guy falls apart is where he booted him out of the booth. Well, I do understand that, you could have, hey, just explained who Doctor Strange was and made a new fan. He's kind of right, and these people are just so obsessed with cosplay. They're like, oh, I see a guy in a crazy outfit. I'm going to dress like that. They don't even care about the characters. They don't care about the shows. They're not fans. It's this new wave of people that just are obsessed with dress up. And to that respect, I totally get where he's coming from. The problem is that
sounds like to me, but that's another argument I'm not trying to have.
Like this blanket bitching about cosplay in and of itself. Like you can use cosplay to market stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can use cosplay to expand, a brand. But he is right in this rise of this obnoxious cosplay culture. That part is annoying and bullshit. These people that cosplay for cosplay's sake, everything is cosplay. And then you have these cosplay models, which are just attention whoring model chicks that couldn't cut it as a magazine model. They're trying to get nerd boner money.
Yeah.
All that.
I want to say something.
All right, Jack, go ahead.
As a cosplayer, okay, I obviously was pretty upset about this, but looking at it, that there is a lot of what he's saying that is making a lot of sense. This article about that it's not very marketable, and I agree with Cody that there are a lot of really obnoxious, holier than thou. My cosplay's better than yours, and a lot of people who get to the point where if you aren't of a completely accurate skin tone, you can't cosplay something, and that's really fucking racist.
No, it's not. It's not racist. It's
political.
Accuracy is one thing. I will say a point like I would look stupid if I tried to go to a cosplay convention and cosplay as Dutch from Black Lagoon. I'd look like an idiot.
No, it makes sense.
I'm a white dude.
It makes sense from looking like, okay, you'd look really stupid if you were as pale as me and wanted to cosplay Shantae, but there have been a lot of moments, especially in the scene in California, which is really weirdly got some weird racism going on, where you will just be completely just lambasted right in front of everybody, and they
not
don't.
racist. That's just jackass nerd. This is nerd culture. This has been nerd culture forever. Since this is the comic book guy from The Simpsons is based on this shit. This sort of, it must be exactly the way I like it, or you're wrong. You saw, look at this guy. He doesn't even have the thing. Like, that's been nerd culture since day one.
But as a cosplayer,
that's all that shit is.
As a cosplayer who looks at it from the point of really just because I was an actor for a while. I did a lot of acting as a young adult and throughout, and I'm still kind of phasing in and out of that. But to me, and less of, oh, I really want to be this weird green-haired chick. I pick the characters that are more intriguing. And talking about like this person who doesn't know what Doctor Strange is, this would be something where, you know, if you saw me maybe this year at the convention I went to, it's long gone, so it doesn't matter what it was. I was Relius Clover from Blaze Blue. And that seems weird because I'm a chick. Extreme fucking links. I brought my little Ada and my little Ignis doll, and I just went right over to the fighters because I didn't care about all these idiots dressed up like Junko and Ashima, and basically just lean behind people, just, and how is this going? You know, your technique's a little off. Well, it can't be helped. I mean, after all, it's more of just immersing yourself where you really want to be immersed, rather than, look at me, I'm Harley Quinn, just like every other fucking blonde in the convention.
Well, it depends. I mean, you could get different things out of it. Like, I'm going to be doing it next Otakon, and I don't plan on role-playing or anything. It's just trying it out and showing off my girlfriend's mad crafting skills.
Nice.
So, you know, different people do it for different reasons. And, you know, with the whole race thing, just because it's racial doesn't mean it's racist. I mean, unless they're saying, like, those...
Max, hold on. Let Max. I know Max has been trying to get a word in for a couple of minutes.
No, I was saying that I agree. Yes, it's gonna snow in hell. I agree with what Cody said to a certain extent because I feel like the cosplay culture is like the gaming culture, but without the money. Because at least the fake gamers will spend money on the games. So it's like that, but without the money, because those cosplayers don't always spend money on the stuff they need to, so it's not marketable. But at least these fake gamers who goes, oh, I'm about to do Doritos Call of Duty, at least they're making money for them.
I think, honestly, where he's going wrong, the guy that this article's about, he's saying we got, you know, cosplayers should go away. That's not true. Anyone that knows marketing, you say you just saw the birth of a new demographic, a new market. What do? Go for that shit. Money is our hills. Market professionally made costumes. You got people that want to dress up as Harley Quinn? Don't say, get out of here. You just want to dress up as Harley Quinn. Hey, DC, make Harley Quinn costumes. Sell
That's a
that
nice
shit.
idea.
Make that money.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah, make that money.
Scorched
Hey,
David, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Scorched earth. I want nothing to do with the cosplay community. I read this article, and I found myself agreeing with this guy almost 100%. And maybe it's because I've dealt with a lot of really, really, really awful people that use cosplay as an excuse to be really, really awful people. But everything that this guy was saying about cosplayers and the cosplay culture and what it does at conventions, I found myself agreeing 100%. So, like the Slayer album, Show No Mercy. Scorched Earth.
I don't think you should get rid of cosplayers or anything like that.
I think that, honestly, professional cosplayers...
Oh, yeah, fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them so hard. Yeah, fuck that shit.
If you want to dress up as a character from a show that you really like and you are really passionate about, go for it. But don't you fucking dare, say anything about someone else's costume, because that makes you part of the problem. And this entire culture is as fucking toxic enough as it is. So
yeah, I'm not part of it. It's
to be
fucking
fair,
I'd say
horrible.
blast it with a flamethrower.
You can
Yep.
say something about
Jerks.
someone's costume just as a general point of observation. It's like, you know, as white as I am, I can still look at some dorky white guy and go, oh, fucking white people. Because that's a neutral observation. I could look at that and say that's dorky whiteness in full force. If I see some white guy just trying to dunk and he like goes to dunk a basket and it bounces off and he hits his own head, hey, I have just witnessed the stereotype of white people. Hey,
Screw
look,
him for trying.
yeah.
Trying to make everything.
You can make an observation.
Anime 3000. Fucking white people.
Yeah.
Especially the women.
As Max is on the screen.
You can make an observation that is a shitty costume or something, or I mean, come on, we've all thought it. She's way too fat to play that revealing character.
Oh,
Why is this 300-pound girl dressed up as the bitch from Kill La Kill?
Thank
Why?
you.
Even worse,
These are just
500
basic
pound
observations.
just as Raven. Who wants to see a leotard with fat rolls?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's worse when it's a Kill La Kill character because I really don't want to see that
But
shit.
this all goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, is that cosplayers always make fucking excuses for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And their cosplays, good, bad, or indifferent,
Mhm.
and try to justify whatever they decide to do, or whatever shitty attitude they might have. So, again, scorched earth.
So, like if you're, like, say you're a cosplayer and you even comment about another cosplayer, if you can at least admit, yeah, well, mine's not perfect, I did the best with what I could, that's,
I have breasts and I'm cosplaying a dude,
But
goddammit.
even that, you could do crossplay, and that's fine, whatever. I mean, especially if you're hot. If you're hot and you can make it work.
I was the hottest fucking Relius Clover in the world. I gotta get pictures, goddammit.
But, neutral observation is one thing, but yeah, that cosplay community. See, that's the difference. Like me, I love me some anime, but I ain't no anime fandom. I ain't got no part of that. I ain't
Exactly.
And that's the
Yeah,
difference.
yeah.
When you start defining yourself with a hobby and become part of a group based on that hobby, that's when you're starting to fall down the well into piece of shit land.
I cosplay, but I am not a cosplayer. There you go. That's what it's it. That's what
Well,
it's really all about.
I podcast, but I'm not a podcaster.
Good job, hashtag the Sean Russell.
Elaborate on that a little bit, Coach. Can you elaborate on that? Because I feel like the only label I give myself is otaku, because I feel like I fall in the otaku category. Because
You don't want to be called an otaku, bro.
Yeah, you don't want to be called an otaku, especially when you know what that really means.
I know what it means. I'm socially awkward and all that, like definition says. That's me.
I'm pretty sure you've gone outside and don't.
Rarely. I go outside once a week.
When you see women's breasts, Maxwell, do you freak out?
Do I what?
Nosebleed?
I do have random nosebleeds for no reason.
Are you a gaijin desu?
Now, Max, do you have a bunch of risque figures and body pillows? How big is your
Not
collection?
the body pillows, but I guess some of my figures could be considered risque. Okay, lots of them.
Oh,
could be,
Jesus.
I guess.
Oh, son. Oh,
Actually,
son.
this isn't the A3K podcast, Max. This is an intervention.
I mean, well, I don't think that puts me in a piece of shitville. Let's go and call it. I think that just means I'm passionate about it.
Look, once
He can.
what I'm trying to say is, the problem is when you start getting in a community.
Mm-hmm.
You don't basically, you can like whatever you want, but don't sacrifice your individuality.
Just don't talk with anyone
Just
about
be a lone wolf, guys. Fuck
don't
people.
talk about it.
Fuck them all. They all suck.
Like what you want. Talk about what you like with other fans. That's fine. But don't become part of a collective, because when you give up your individuality, you start heading right down the road to Assholeville, and nobody likes it there, except for the people that live there.
If you end up with a group of people who are quoting a bridge series and just generally not really coming up with any points of conversation other than blank is so adjective, you probably need to get better friends.
If the majority of your conversations mostly consist of internet memes, you should probably move on.
No, I don't do that.
Good job.
Sometimes, but no.
I used to have a lot of friends who would constantly quote a bridge series, and it was, yeah.
If it's Nun Piece, maybe I'll forgive them.
I mean,
And once in a while,
we all have a lot of us go through that phase. We go through that phase, but that's exactly what it is. It's a phase.
And here's the thing, we all quote funny things. Everybody does that. I mean, look, how many times have we said, "Don't call me Shirley"? we all quote funny things. But when your funny things that you're quoting seems to come from one niche little pool, then it's time to start examining you, yourself, and the people you hang out with.
And if
My
the
name's
majority of
not
everything you say
I know somebody
involves
like that.
things from that
Everything he
world,
says is a quote from an internet joke, and I'm like, you're not cool. You're just quoting the internet. Go away. Because
That's why I doubt you're full otaku. You're self-aware.
What was that? What was that, Cody?
This is why I doubt that Max is fully otaku. He's self-aware enough to realize probably shouldn't be quoting internet memes all the time and bridge series and basic human conversation.
Well,
He's an otaku light.
Or I'm borderline.
I think what people have
he's
to...
on the otaku spectrum.
he's otaku curious.
There we go.
Now, see, I think what people have to keep in mind is that a lot of time people don't realize that otaku over here has a very different meaning compared to what otaku means over there in Japan land.
What is this meaning?
I mean, it's actually derogatory over there. If you pay attention, it is.
That's what I mean. Because
what's the American meaning then? Because there shouldn't be a different meaning.
It really should.
Because
it's a different meaning that has come about through ignorance mostly.
Yeah, it's like when you say je ne sais quoi and then someone's like, oh yeah, whatever, or like when people say buku and they don't realize first off it's fucking boku, and secondly, wow, I sound like a dick, and secondly they say it grammatically incorrect. They're like,
what it is?
man,
It's like
boku bucks.
It's like the people that get Japanese characters tattooed on their arms, like, oh, it means love and water, and they're like, no, that means cheese sandwich, asshole. Like that's
exactly.
All I'm
I
saying
learned to
is that
speak Italian.
Colton, what
boopy.
were you saying?
I was just saying. All I'm saying is that when normal people who are into anime call themselves an otaku, what they think that means is, oh hey, I love anime and I'm just so in love with the medium, and I guess that means I'm this or something. They
really shouldn't be a thing.
I know, but I've known a lot of people who've called themselves an otaku, and I mean at the time I didn't really know the kind of stigma that you can get from calling yourself that, or in back where in Japan, I guess.
Say it loud. I'm an otaku and I'm proud.
You grow out of that.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You grow out, like, when you're young, like 13, 14, you're starting to get into anime. You start getting, because when you're young and you get into anything, you're enthusiastic as fuck.
Yeah.
You're a shonen protagonist.
Yeah,
and then you know what I'm enthusiastic about? I'm so enthusiastic about this conversation, and depending on whether or not we are still, feeling the love for this cosplay fiasco, we might talk about it next week. But unfortunately, I got to take you to the takeaway, and we're gonna get started with Colton. What is your takeaway for this episode?
Well, like I said in the beginning of the show, I am currently finishing editing a new episode of Life Lessons to come out on either Monday or Tuesday. I'm also going to be recording a special little holiday episode to hopefully release that the week of Christmas. I have a little, game planned for my co-host to play for on that episode. Just an episode where we can just sit down, have fun, play some little games involving our favorite series, Gintama. That's what this podcast is all about. But yeah, like I said, hopefully that'll be released around the week of Christmas. And you can find Life Lessons, the Gintama manga cast, at www.gintalifelessons.wordpress.com. And one last thing, if you like Toriko and you like listening to me, you can listen to me on the Heavenly Kings podcast at www.heavenlykingspodcast.wordpress.com. And I think that's about all I have to plug.
Cool. And AW Brawler.
Oh, well, my takeaway, basically, I'm going to be doing a lot more gameplay videos on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/AWBrawler, obviously. And I know in the show notes we were supposed to mention it, and I was waiting for it to be mentioned, but I guess we got sidetracked. But since we're going to mention Pokemon, I am going back into competitive Pokemon with Omega Ruby. So I will be taking on one of the more famous Pokemon YouTubers, Shady Penguin, if anyone ever heard of him. So that's That's pretty much what my plan is for the next couple of weeks.
Where's your tag?
Oh, I didn't know if y'all wanted me to do it yet.
Do
but
it,
yeah, so
do it.
Be you, be true, be human.
Do it live.
All right. And David.
Well, for me, there will be the Fanny Pack Wrestling podcast coming out on Monday. We will be talking about Shimmer Women Athletes Volume 62, the noted indie wrestling promotion out of Chicago, Illinois. My co-host, Petey Rave, and I, on the Fanny Pack Wrestling podcast, introduce indie wrestling to two casual wrestling fans, one episode at a time. And coming up next is Shimmer Women Athletes. Also, on DeltaJulietMike.com, the Nanashi Anime podcast is returning after its really long hiatus. Also, coming up on Monday-ish, maybe, a brand new episode of the flagship show, Shooting the Shit with Two Nerdy Black Guys. All on the interwebs at DeltaJulietMike.com. And if you feel so inclined as to follow me on the Twitter, you can do that at Just Call Me DJM, like a fish called Wanda. You say the whole thing. Just call me DJM.
Nice. Jack.
Can I say one thing before we go on?
No.
Jack. No, AW brother, quickly.
David has an awesome radio or podcast voice. I just want to point that out. Awesome voice for podcast and radio.
I totally
That's
agree.
why he's here. That is why he is here.
I've never heard that before. Thank you. I truly appreciate it.
I agree.
And speaking of agreeing, Jack.
I disagree with everything. And that's it. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so, yeah, I'm going to be working on a lot of artwork and some articles for A3K. Not artwork for A3K. Artwork for my Twitter, and if I give a damn, maybe my Tumblr. But in the meantime, you can find me doing some nice One Piece stuff, because I can't ever get enough of that.
Yeah.
Gonna be posting some of that shit because I don't want to be watching Summer Wars, so I'm just gonna keep marathoning some more back episodes of One Piece and be drawing some things, and I'll be posting those to the Twitter, which is Jack D Tyler D, just the letter D, not D, as in if you say it twice, it is Dexter's sister. I'm not as good at that as David is. Anyway, my Tumblr is Mechanical Symphonies, and I get angry, and then people get angry at me, not knowing that I don't give a shit if they get angry because they get offended. But that's not important. What is important is Jack D. Tyler D. and at Twitter, and Mechanical Symphonies at Tumblr.
Sweet. And Cody.
All right, before the album of the week, of course, you can find my works at cloudscratcher.com, and of course the Cloud Scratcher Facebook page you just plugged. You check the show notes, I've just put in a link. You can also check out the webcomic that I draw for Falls Count Anywhere. It's about pro wrestling, so DJM, you might enjoy it at Falls Count Anywhere.
I'm not really a wrestling fan.
Updates on Sundays, so check that out. Updates one page a week. It's not as much as Cloud Scratcher.
I'm going to go there now.
Sunday.
Anywhere. FallsCountAnywhere.com. It's actually pretty good. I'm looking at the script. I'm talking with the guy behind it. He's
yes. I did check this out. I already did. Yes.
It's fucking good. I love it.
Folks will enjoy it. It's just starting out, so it's a good time to jump on. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the album of the week. And the album of the week is an important one. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to recommend to you one of the greatest albums ever printed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the greatest things music has ever, since mankind started grunting melodically back in the caveman days. That is all led up to, one of the albums that it has led up to is this album, this week's album of the week, of Faith, Power, and Glory from VNV Nation. And if you don't know who VNV Nation is, they are basically a group that is probably too much for you. If you're used to your music basically being a cool thing to bob your head to, you might not be fucking ready for these guys. These guys will basically do things to your soul. They will get you so hyped you feel like you could take on Brock Lesnar in an arm wrestling match, and then right in the next track, completely and utterly destroy your heart like fucking Kano from Mortal Kombat. These people will get right down, not into your brain, not into your heart, but into your soul, and do things to you. And no album they have done has done this more than Of Faith, Power, and Glory. An album that is basically, if I had to describe what it's about, it is a very three-dimensional look at humanity and war, specifically the good parts of war, the defending your family, defending your country, defending what you believe in, and the bad parts of war when people are forced to die for causes they don't believe in, and the perpetuation of war. And not only that, but human mortality is explored in this album. The very first song, to show how powerful this album is, the very first song, Sentinel, has the most powerful rendition of the word on that I have ever heard in music. The fucking word on. If you hear that first song and you're not, I have to listen to this entire fucking album. A, I don't know what's wrong with you, and B, I'll question whether you have a soul or not. This album can be incredibly powerful, going up and down with something inspirational, then something dark and heart-wrenching that'll make you question humanity and then make you proud to be a human by the very next track. None of this is more exemplified than the final 3 tracks, Verum Aeternus, From My Hands, and Where There Is Light. Verum Aeternus is a song that a lot of people that I know need to hear because of the message in that song. Really, you need to hear this song. It'll probably pick up a lot of depressed people's lives. From My Hands will destroy you. I know grown adults that have sobbed to this song. It's basically about a relationship ending, but not because of a breakup. And the song does not overtly tell you why it's ending until... It doesn't ever overtly tell you, but you will figure it out by the end of the song, and when you do, you will cry like a baby. Then, right after it destroys you, it picks you back up with the final track, Where There Is Light, that basically makes you happy as hell that you were born a human being. This is one of the most powerful albums to ever be printed. It is one of the greatest pieces of music to ever be made by another human being. If you are a fucking person with a soul, you need to go check out this album. Of Faith, Power, and Glory by VNV Nation. And once you've listened to it, and once you've composed yourself, check out the rest of their work. Trust me, your fucking life will change. And that's the album of the week.
Huh. What is it good for?
This album.
Absolutely nothing. Except that. Apparently.
Say it again. And I guess I'm closing it out. And thank you,
Sean Russell of the A3K Network at anime3000.com. What have you got for us on the takeaway?
Thank you. For the takeaway, we are gearing up. We are ramping up for our 100th episode. And on
A3K, the musical.
On episode 99, we are going to be letting you know a few of the things that we have in store, but we're not going to let you know everything because we want you to tune into that 100th episode. And we're also encouraging you to tune into it live. We put out new episodes every Saturday at 11 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to be part of the live audience, who knows? You might even get something. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. Maybe I am. I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. But check that out. And also, every single week, check out anime3000.com. We have a lot of things, some cool things on the website for you. And some new content. A lot of the people in this room right here are going to be doing some videos and doing some articles. So we're trying to diversify our stocks and bonds and, Wu-Tang forever.
Wu-Tang Financial.
We have stocks and bonds?
Wu-Tang. There they go. That's Wu-Tang.
Financial.
Wu-Tang Financial.
Wu-Tang Financial. I'll be Ghostface. So, yeah, that does it. So we'll see you next week. And I want to thank everybody on the panel. I want to thank everybody watching live. And I want to thank you if you're watching this on demand on YouTube or on anime3000.com. And we will see you next week.
Chance hands.